all getting in now.
Sorry,
Hi,
Miriam.
Henry, I'm already in. Just try logging in now. Thanks.
Miriam,
Hi.
I'm making you the host.
That'd be great because I have to do some screen sharing.
Okay.
Thank you. Everybody's kind of calling, trying to figure out what's going on.
Okay.
Henry?
I just let him in, I thought, but he disappeared.
Here he is.
There we are. Hello.
Hi, Greg.
Oh,
Let me try. Henry, could you call Karen? Because Karen was calling me trying to log in. Could
yeah, I
you?
delivered the stuff to her this afternoon.
Well, she just called me. Could somebody give her a call and tell her that we're now in?
Yes, because she would have tried and
She tried and couldn't. Okay, thank you, Becky.
Hi,
Sure,
Becky.
I'm making Miriam, I'm gonna make you the host, but I made Henry and Greg both co-hosts in case anything goes wrong.
Okay.
Just
Well, that's-
double protection.
Double
Ooh,
protection. Okay, that's great. Thank you.
I'll make you guys co-hosts. I'm
Are
just
we on a different Zoom account that we're not on the town
yeah,
account?
you're on mine, and I apologize. I got distracted by my grandson. I was on schedule, and then I was playing dinosaurs and ran
no
away.
need for
Oh,
apologies
dinosaur
about that.
play is very important.
Yeah.
But okay, so now I'm gonna make Miriam the host.
I'm a Spinosaurus, by the way.
I don't think he saw us.
I'm a Spinosaurus. My son and granddaughter have also made up the name Shikassa for me.
Oh my goodness, that's a good
That's
one.
a very rare kind of dinosaur, apparently. I love it. I don't get any respect to my family.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Shikassa All right, thanks,
Yeah.
Becky.
Plenty of hosts and co-hosts, and have a great meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are not up to a quorum yet. So I'm hoping that Mary Lou is going to sign in.
Quorum is 4.
1, 2, we need 4.
Yeah.
Henry, do you want to give, here, I'll try calling Mary Lou.
All right.
I know Janice can't make it, and I didn't know about Azelle tonight. Has anybody heard from Azelle?
Yeah, you need one more.
We need one more.
No, you want me to call her? I'll call Zell.
Well, you call Azelle, I'll call Mary Lou.
Good night,
I have-
Leslie.
Hi, Becky.
Good night, Greg. Good luck, Henry.
Good night, Becky.
It's like the
Good night, John
Waltons.
boy.
That's what I was gonna say.
I guess I want that one. Oh, it's good. It's minutes.
All right, well, I couldn't reach her. See what happens.
Just Greg and Miriam so far?
Well, Henry, he's trying to
Oh.
call Azelle. See, I know Janice can't make it. Maybe I can text Janice. You never. Janice was going somewhere, but I don't know. Let me see if I have her. Oh. Hi, Karen.
Hi. Invalid number.
It's an invalid number? All right. Well, Karen, what if we were to put you on, let me just play around here. Greg, do you want to see it?
I can hear her just from over the phone.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, Karen, can somebody say something to Karen, see if she can hear?
Hi, Karen.
I want to check the number, but that's what I dialed. This number that Marion gave me, I think.
Let's check the number for starters. I'm looking.
Somebody have it handy?
Yeah, I'm looking for it. STU. United was a bunch. New York one would be the one to use, I suppose. 929 205
That wasn't the
609.
number, wait, that wasn't the number we gave her. I gave her the 646. She's dialing into Zoom okay. It's the, is it the passcode, Karen, or is it the meeting ID that's the problem?
It's the ID.
The meeting ID.
Yeah.
What okay, 811
Yes.
4682
Yes.
1173.
Right. That's
What did
the
I
one
try
that
dialing in?
And then that says invalid.
I was told it is invalid. Should I try it again?
I'm going to try it too,
Greg's gonna try it to see.
which I've never done.
But Karen, if you're on speakerphone and you can hear what's going on, then we do have a quorum, as long as we can do this by speakerphone.
Okay.
I have to put my phone down in order to take minutes. So I'll put the phone on my chest. Can people hear it?
So you're going to put it down and I'm going to listen.
Yeah, and they can hear you too, Karen.
Yep, we can hear her.
We can hear you. Okay. So we do have a quorum. Let me
Edsel, it will join us shortly. I just want to caution you, her mom died.
oh, that's right.
So she's kind of in a real funk
Oh,
right now, but she said she's gonna try and make it a little later.
well, she doesn't have to if we have a
No,
quorum.
I told her it's up to her, so she may or may not.
I totally forgot.
I just got in.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You got in. Greg said that he got in.
Janice?
No, Greg was able to dial in, Karen, and he
Oh.
got in okay. And so I don't know why you're having a problem. Was there any tricks with Greg?
No, I just phoned in with the 646 number and used the passcode 063703.
But you had to put the meeting ID number in, right?
Yes, I had to. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
then hit the pound sign.
Then
Yes.
the meeting ID in pound and passcode in pound.
I'm fine.
Yeah, Karen, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, we have you on speakerphone, so we're okay.
Okay.
Let's just move on and
Yeah.
not spend more time worrying about all this.
Yeah.
Okay,
That'd be fine with me.
okay. So
Okay.
take it.
Well, let's call the meeting to order.
Okay.
Greetings, everybody.
Yep.
Did everybody get a chance to see the minutes?
Yes.
Any discussion about the minutes?
I've got a report to give that Leslie and I met the young woman from.
Sure. Just the minutes we're just doing minutes.
Okay.
Just so we can approve the minutes.
I see. Oh, the minutes. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. No, it's fine with me. Looks good.
Okay, Karen?
Karen,
Yeah.
Karen wasn't at the meeting, Henry, so
Oh,
she-
yeah, okay. All right. Well, I wonder about voting on this then. Do
Well,
we have,
we don't have to have a quorum to vote,
do we not? Okay,
so.
all right,
We
so,
don't need a quorum, we don't need to have 4 people to vote on the minutes.
You'll just have 3 people approving and 1 person abstaining.
Right.
all right, let's do that then. All to approve the minutes.
Well, I need a
I'll-
motion as,
Yes, yeah. Motion to approve the minutes.
Seconded.
All right, so roll call. Henry Geddes, aye. Greg Colton,
Aye.
Miriam Defunct.
Aye.
One abstention.
Aye.
Karen
Karen,
Zaruka.
you can't vote. You have to abstain because you weren't at the meeting. Okay.
All right.
Moving on.
Close that.
All right. Ongoing projects. That's a big item.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't update the agenda online. Do you want to do the archive stuff first? So if Leslie.
Yes. On June 14th, I believe, that was the right date, Leslie. Leslie and I met the archivist, the roving archivist, at the old town hall.
What was her name?
Irene, I haven't got the last name.
Gates, maybe? I think Gates.
Irene Gates. She's the acting roving archivist. And we had a very positive discussion. And she seems like she's going to be very helpful. The one thing that came out of the meeting was that the first step is to do an inventory, a database, which she can help advise us on what software to use. There may be mass archival software that we can use, but that's the first task, is to inventory what's there. That in itself is a big task, and I asked her if there are any funders for things like doing that, and she said there could well be, because I think it's something that we can't just leave to volunteers. It'd be great if there was funding to pay Leslie or me or someone else to take that on. It's a big task, it's the primary task at the moment. So she is going to write back to us. She did email back to us to make sure that we were connected, and so we're awaiting her report or draft report.
Could you make sure that this is all all that email communication is being forwarded to the Historical Commission?
I'll do that.
Account.
Yes, I will. And I'll make a note about that right now. And that's the report, really, at this point.
So will she's just going to focus on the inventory aspect of it, not the digitizing or preserving aspect of it?
Part of the inventory will be to decide what is going to be digitized and scanned or whatever.
Hold on one second. Mary Lou's calling me. Karen.
Hello?
Hi, Mary Lou. Hello.
Hi, I'm
Hi.
Miriam.
Yeah, hi, Mary Lou. We're in the meeting. Can you log in?
I'm sorry?
Oh, you're in the waiting room. Sorry, I just saw you.
Yes.
Okay, I'm admitting you now. You can hang
Okay.
up. Okay. Hold on one second. Let me just.
So, just to recap, because I know Mary Lou is interested in this, Leslie and I met with the state roving archivist, who will be able to give us a lot of help. Firstly, to help us run an inventory, create a database of what we've got.
Okay.
So she is going to get back to us with a draft report, which we'll obviously discuss in committee when it comes. But that's it, really.
So you were saying that part of the issue with Greg will be prioritizing.
Yes, exactly. Once we have what we've got, and for instance, old, possibly decaying records would be put to the top of the list for archiving, whereas other things may not. And there are some 3D things, artifacts, that will probably need to be photographed rather than scanned. The inventory and creating the database will be a challenge. Yeah. Certainly, I think we should look for funds to help that along.
I can't.
Mary Lou? Mary Lou is
You're mute.
Yes.
there we go.
Hey, I can't hear you guys.
Wonder why.
I have you up to my ear.
Can you almost not hear me or us or?
No, I can only hear you if I put you up to my ear.
Volume? How's your volume? Is that up?
My volume is all the way up. So I'm gonna try and go on my desktop, right? And then hopefully I'll be able to hear you.
Yeah.
It says connecting. Please wait, the meeting host will let you in soon.
Yes, she's.
Okay. Join with computer audio.
I think you're in now. You're in now.
Oh yeah, but I got that terrible echo.
Close the other one first now.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Sounds like Twilight Zone.
In answer to Miriam's question, I think that part of the report from Irene Gates will include a recommendation to use the mass archiving program, the free program that is run, I think, did she say out of the Boston Public Library, Greg?
Yeah. So, yes.
Yeah, I've looked into the, I think it's the Digital Commonwealth.
Right.
That's correct.
So she's going to write a report that summarizes all that she was thinking at our visit. I think I would add to Greg's report. Does that sound right to you?
It does. Thanks.
I recently undertook and started a project at home where I'm archiving a bunch of antique photos, and I purchased a pretty good scanner for photo digitization, and I'm willing to donate its use if we're going to be doing some scanning.
Yeah, that's great. It's a little down the track.
Yeah.
Because
what Irene said was the very best scanning could be done by Digital Commonwealth. They have the best equipment.
Really?
I don't know what that means, if they've got to come out here with the equipment or if you've got to take archive into them.
Yeah, and that's a big decision to make, because we might prefer to take advantage of Miriam's than send our town stuff to Boston.
I also have a high-res scanner, so we can work it out, and maybe we could be doing the database and the archiving digital at the same pace, but with the archiving a little behind the creation of the database.
Yeah.
There's no reason you have to complete the inventory first before you start scanning.
Right. I think that that might be better. So at least something's getting done. Maybe doing it in chunks, looking perhaps for the stuff that looks like it's most fragile or most likely to deteriorate. I mean, I think that would be my first recommendation.
Yep. So we'll have a summary soon, and we'll discuss that.
What time of year is the best time to be in town hall? Because it seems to me that summer and winter would be rough.
Right, winter would certainly be rough.
Yeah. Summer might not be any picnic either.
Well, yes,
humid.
Certainly on a hot day, it'd be problematic.
Okay. All right. Any more on this? We don't have to really make any decisions right now. So that's great. Thank you for the update.
That's good.
Should we move on, Henry? We lost Henry. Mary Lou, is your hand raised?
I don't know if she can hear us yet. The iPhone has a raised hand.
What's going on?
Yes. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I wasn't quite sure what y'all were just talking about. Digitizing records that are in the old town hall?
Correct.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Leslie and I met with the state roving archivist to discuss.
You and Leslie Bracebridge met with the state roving archivist.
Correct.
And who would that be?
Irene Gates.
Okay, so wow, that's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah. No, the good thing is
I'm sorry. I have to put the phone up to my ear and I can't talk if I have you on desktop. So I really don't know what's going on.
Oh.
But yeah, Greg, I think you were saying something.
That really, I guess, in a way, we're starting very soon on the.
Oh, I wish I knew.
Well, we're not starting yet. You do know now.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just let Zell know that we have a quorum, that she can take it, as she feels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Can we move on?
Yeah.
All right. So should we go over what updates on the solar projects right now?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So, I have some stuff I want to go over with people, but I just want to make sure first that everybody has what we discussed, the letters and what they mean. Unfortunately, Karen, I'm sorry, we have not been able to get you copies of all the documents that came in. But to summarize, we got letters from the Massachusetts Historical Commission that were in response to AMP Solar's project notifications. And we also got copies of project notifications that were sent out to various state and federal tribes in the region. So let's discuss the letters first and see if anybody has any questions, or if everybody understands what they were.
Sounds like a plan.
Yep.
Any discussion?
Well, I not really. I looked at them and didn't have any question.
Mary Lou, did you have any questions about them?
I don't. I think I brought these copies to Karen.
Oh, okay, great.
Are they, yes. Are they dated May 20th, 2021?
Some of them were.
Yes. And it seems like it's essentially the same wording, like, the same, every sentence or paragraph is the same in the 3 different letters, except that they're referring to different parcels, right?
Parcels,
yeah. So what in effect do they mean? Like, what?
So what this is that AMP Solar was required to submit project notifications to Massachusetts Historical Commission.
Right.
And Massachusetts Historical Commission assigned an ID number for each of these parcels. And so they have their own code, and you may see those referenced in the letters. MHC did 2 things. The first letters that they sent, MHC sent, basically told AMP that there are historical properties either on these parcels or right near them that need to be evaluated. And so MHC went through its archives, its inventory, and cross-referenced it. And so that was the first thing that's significant about the letters, is that they're saying basically to AMP, you need to take a look at the MHC inventory list and cross-reference it and see if there are any historic properties on the parcels that might be related to these historic buildings that are mostly on the roadside. They also indicate that they expect that there may be some what they were called ancient sites. They didn't use the word indigenous, but they said ancient sites, which is
right.
Because we talked about this at the last meeting, that this is
Yes, I recall.
right.
Miriam, may I say, were we going to try and continue forward by using the word indigenous? Because I've been reading up on that, and that's almost like an insult to indigenous people do you know what I mean?
I don't think we're using that word.
I know, but could we help the state and correct them? I don't know about that. I mean, why not?
I think personally right now, that isn't probably the right time to do it.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Because they're being responsive, and I don't think it's the right time for that discussion.
That makes sense. We don't want to
So
push them away.
Right. So we discussed it
Yeah.
at the last meeting, but since then another letter came in.
Oh.
See, which I forwarded to everybody.
Yep.
That letter was telling AMP that they have to do a comprehensive archaeological survey.
And this is the letter of 6/21, June 21. That we received. Sorry, it was received.
Yeah, 6/11. It was sent to the wrong address, so we got it a week late. But yeah, so I thought that was pretty significant because this is a significant requirement that they're requiring a comprehensive archaeological survey. It's not enough. Obviously, we want to see a evaluation for traditional cultural properties done with a tribal input.
Right.
But I think it's, but it's important nonetheless, because it wasn't required on the Wheelock Tract. Mass Historical did not weigh in with any requirements on the Wheelock Tract project.
Were they notified? Sorry, were they notified?
They were notified.
Oh, well, that's too bad. That's sad.
There are 7 plots here, are there not? One.
Yeah, because they divided up Montague Carver into both one side of Carver Road and the other on the other side.
Likewise, Pratt Corner, is it? Because
yeah,
I see that. Yes.
So since our meeting last week, I did send letters I was instructed to, we voted on to send letters to the Army Corps of Engineers and to the EPA, CCing Bettina Washington. So those emails I have sent. I have a draft email that I want to review with the commission to AMP in response to what they've sent us. And I want to have some discussion about what we should say in that email. So AMP sent us, at my request, I asked them to send us a copy of what they had submitted to Mass Historical, because we didn't, MHC, because we never got a copy of that. So they sent a huge packet to me. It's not a huge packet, but it's maybe 50 pages. Oh. Maybe it's less. Maybe it's 25 pages, but anyway, it's a number of pages, which is why I didn't copy it all. I will eventually scan it and put it up on the town website. I don't know if this is enough. I was going to take a look at the solar bylaw to see if sending us those notifications was sufficient to meet the bylaw requirements. And so I was just going to pull up the, maybe I'll screen share it, because I think we should really be careful to see what's being required in the bylaw. And then, are we, what do we need to be responding to? So I'm going to try and screen share right now. Just let's all take a look at the bylaw together. And then I'll go over the, why can I not share?
You're the host. You should be able to.
Who can share? How do you share? It's not letting me share screen. Okay, here we go. Trying to find. It's not letting me. Okay, well, maybe I can just pull it up. Let me see. Okay, can people see this?
Yep.
Okay. So this is the new revised.
No.
Mary Lou, can you see this? Mary Lou, you can't see what I'm sharing?
You muted, Mary Lou.
Hello, Mary Lou.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. I can barely see it. I have to make it go way, way big. So I don't know how much good I'm going to be as far as discussing it.
You're on your phone, right?
Yeah, I know, Henry. Yeah, I'm on my phone and it's really teeny. And if I go on my desktop, then I make that big wavy thing. and I can't talk.
If you
It makes,
mute the phone,
oh, okay, I can do that quick. Okay, I'll try.
you might unmute it on the computer. You may not have that problem.
Yeah, I'll try that. Thank you, Greg. Wait a minute.
Okay, so under the bylaw, it says a written assessment of the project's effects on each identified historic property or resource and ways to avoid, minimize, or mitigate any adverse effects shall be submitted as part of the special permit. And then under required documentation, locations of all known, mapped, or suspected Native American archaeological sites, identification of such sites shall be based on responses, if any, to written inquiries with a requirement to respond within 35 days to the following parties. And so they have to notify us. So, I guess technically you could say their inquiry was when they sent this packet to us, which we just received on Monday. It was delivered over the weekend, which means we have a 35-day window to at least begin responding. I don't think that's the end, because we don't have an opportunity to look at their final reports. The reports haven't been completed because the surveys haven't been done yet.
Nor have the special permits been submitted.
Right. But these reports might come in even before the special permit. It's possible, but the reports haven't been done. The surveys haven't been done. So I think that we do need to respond in writing. I think we had talked about writing a written report using some of the data that has been donated to the Historical Commission that has been mapped by Lise McLaughlin for us. We had talked about the idea that there was going to be reports that we would submit for each tract or each parcel with whatever findings we had about what we would like to see happen in terms of assessments. Lise had produced heat maps for us, and I have those, which I can show to the commission. And one of my thoughts was that we should put together a one report basically with this data from Lise McLaughlin and recommendations for what we would like to see AMP do, which at this point really is that we want to see them do a thorough survey, and we want to see them consult with tribal authorities at the very least, and that there are also historical properties like settler properties that we may particularly want to identify and ask them to avoid, because those are already known. Some of them are already known. But I felt like we needed to respond in an email to AMP. So I have a draft of an email to AMP that I wanted to go over. Right. Just sort of acknowledging the receipt and identifying that we're within that 35-day period, which I did some math, and it means that we would need to send a response to them by July 23rd. So that's my read. Let me see. I don't think there's any more in the bylaw that really is relevant to us.
I take it, Miriam, that this would be kind of a preliminary, response that contingent on and pointing to a thorough whatever assessment.
How do I stop sharing? Yes.
There you are.
Yes, that would be the point. Is basically. I think it's important. I think that right now, the way things are standing, there's some very encouraging signs that that the landowner and AMP want to do the right thing and do a careful survey and consult with Bettina Washington, which I feel like is really encouraging. But there's no guarantee all that's going to actually happen. So that's why I feel like we should respond.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reminder of what needs to be done.
Well, yeah, and if we don't respond in writing, you know, we're given this window of opportunity. And I think we've been saying that we wanted to play a role with the role that we have in the bylaw. If we don't write a report, then we're kind of waiving that. I don't think that's what we want to do.
Should we ask them if, like in an email, if they are actually planning to work with a tribal tipo, and when they have made that, or, you know, if they've...
Well, what I have been told, and I think it's fair to say this, is that hold on, I'm taking minutes and talking. What were you asking? Is should we ask?
In the email you want to send to respond to their notification, should we ask, you know, when are you going, you know, do you have an appointment for the time to survey the land?
A timeline.
A timeline. So what I was told, and again, this is kind of, I guess I could share this, but is that a contract has been written up and has been signed with Ibo Givik's company. And so that's official.
Mm-hmm.
And they are in the process of drawing up and finalizing a contract with Bettina Washington. So that is also going forward, the contract part, but they are not planning on doing the surveying right now, and there's no sense of a timeline. My understanding, reading between the lines, and maybe I'm reading more into it, is that AMP is waiting to find out if they're going to get an operations and management contract with the town. And that they're wanting more clarity from the select board, and until they get that, they're going to not move forward with these surveys.
Right.
Okay, so I have a question if I could.
Sure, you got your hand up.
Yes. So, Miriam, you're talking about contracts with Bettina Washington, the TIPO, and then Eva, who is a layperson. What kind of contracts are you referring to? I mean, and like, you know, what relationship do they have to the historical commission, if any? And then Greg, you said, should we ask? I don't know who you were asking for us to ask, but I think if I understand it proper from the whole experience with the WELOC, that the only proper assessment can be from a TIPO if we are looking for Native American either burial grounds or, you know, stone prayers, that you know, that is supposed to be part of the town giving over the special permit. Yeah, so who would it be, Greg, that we would be asking? And Miriam, what do these contracts have in relationship to us, to the historical commission?
Somebody else want to answer that?
I was referring to the response to the letter of June 11 that AMP sent, that we should, rather than just say we received it, we should possibly ask them what's the progress on their part.
I think that's a reasonable thing to add, Greg. I mean, they may not have a time frame, but I think asking that is reasonable.
Yeah, they may not have made decisions. I think your point about them not really wanting to do the surveys until they know that they've got the special arrangement with the town makes sense,
Yeah.
because
But we should still, but we should,
they don't want to spend the money until they're sure that the projects are going ahead.
yeah, so I like that idea. I can add that to the draft. I was going to show you guys the draft in a few minutes. It sounds like Mary Lou, you have other questions. Does anybody else want to take a stab at that?
Yeah, I'm curious what you just mentioned, 2 contracts with Cinda Jones, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Miriam?
Yes.
Yes. So you just mentioned in 2 different parties. What my question is what relationship do those contracts have to the Shutesbury Historical Commission?
Well,
I'm not following it.
I don't understand the question about what relationship. We're not the ones contracting.
Exactly. So why is that a point of discussion with us? I mean,
We're being notified.
what do the contracts involve? This is something Cinda Jones is doing freely on her own. So, and she's, so you're saying contract. So does that mean they entered a money deal? Because I really don't, I'm really not getting it. And I mean, and so then will we be able to see anything? How do you even know that those 2 contracts are happening? And then are they surveying, which I can figure that they are, right? They're surveying stone prayers or possible grave sites. Well, if that's true, then will we be able to have access to it? I'm trying to connect the dots here and yeah.
Well, I think
Those are my questions. I have to put my ear up again. Sorry.
maybe what you're really asking is what involvement would we have? Obviously, as a contract between these parties, we don't directly sign off on any of that.
Right.
But our role as a historical commission, is the question. Are we? At what point do we get involved? Will we have access to the sites? What will be our role essentially?
Yes. Okay.
Our role originally was to comment within 35 days of this application about whether or not there are sites of historical interest on these properties. And in a way, didn't the MHC just do that anyhow? They've already said, yes, it does. So, I mean, that's accomplished our role, in fact.
Well, that part. But we also have other data, Greg. We have the data that was donated to the Historical Commission. We can share.
We can share that, right?
We can share it in the form of photographs that are de-identified. That means they don't have any geographical coordinates, and we can share the heat maps. That was what we were given permission to share by Bettina Washington.
Good. So we will.
Okay, and she is the donator as well, Miriam?
No, she's not. This was the data that was donated
by Lisa, right?
Well, it was other researchers who donated it, and Lise obtained permission from Bettina to produce these photographs and heat maps for our use and for us to share with AMP and with the planning board to make public, because we don't have any sensitive geographic coordinates. So that was the kind of the bridge too far that Bettina had established that she did not want. So we understand that this is acceptable to her. This is the part of the data that was already shown to her.
Wow.
So the idea would be to package a brief report. I don't think it has to be very lengthy. That includes the data, the photographs that I'm going to show you guys in a few minutes, and the heat maps. and to make a series of recommendations. So I was going to propose, if the commission lets me, is to create a draft that I would then circulate so that we could decide at a next meeting before July 23rd what our recommendations are that we want to build into that report. And then we would share it with AMP, and we would share it with the planning board. Obviously, we want there to be a more intensive survey. We want to make sure that there's a tribal historic preservation officer who is given free rein to evaluate those survey data. We want a mitigation plan, right?
That's right.
What other recommendations? A survey, just so I'm thinking a survey, TIPO involvement, a mitigation plan to avoid things. You know,
Are you saying mitigation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mitigation means to avoid things.
Yeah.
To avoid things?
So we'll
To
destroy
avoid damaging any of the sites.
Oh.
So
I see.
So maybe right now I should pull up the PowerPoint and show we're talking about it. Can I do that and show it to you guys?
Sure.
All right. I'm pulling it up as we speak. Let me get to the beginning of it. It's nice. Lise had created this with the idea that maybe we would present it in a presentation to the planning board. We could still do that if we could get their attention long enough to do that. I don't know if we could really get them to dedicate the time. But here it is. All right, can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay.
I wonder if Mary Lou is still on the line here. I just saw her.
Switching, I know.
Yeah, she's on the iPhone.
Are you on, Mary Lou?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So
Mary Lou will have to mute, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to go through this. So the way it is structured is there's 5 sites. This is an overall map with showing the distribution, and the point of this map is that there are sensitive sites that were identified on all of the parcels. Here's the Baker Road parcel, which I know is not under consideration, but there's a heat map. Here is an exemplar. There's a few photographs for each site. Do you see the photographs?
Yep.
Yep.
Wow.
And here is Montague Carver, which is the area with the highest concentration. I think.
Oh my God.
There, and I think Eva's research also holds up that Montague Carver is the area with the highest density of stone groupings.
I'm disappointed.
What?
I said I'm disappointed. It's not my road.
Here are some of the exemplars. And then Leverett Road. Also, even on Leverett Road, there are some sites over here.
Yep.
And here, look at that. And then this is Pratt East. There's this kind of turtle effigy.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't show you the heat map. This is the Pratt Corner East near my house heat map. And then going on with the photographs, Pratt East. There's quite a bit. And then this is Pratt West. Again, quite a bit.
Wow.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at this. That's impressive. That's impressive. They're quite amazing. And then I don't think there's a Pratt South. I guess we don't have anything for Pratt South in this document. I can ask whether maybe she left it out there. I thought there was some stuff for Pratt South.
Well, that came up after I think she
Did it?
did
Okay.
this. Yeah.
Okay. So so that's the data. And so my thought had been to kind of package that into, hold on a second, I lost everybody. Oh my God.
No, we can see you.
You can see me. I'm trying to find my minutes because I have to take notes. This is not good. All right, sorry, I'm having trouble.
It's okay.
Well, while you're searching for that, I'm just an observation. It appears to me from reading those letters, going back to the letters with the MHC, that I think it's quite notable that they've done this, and in a sense that they have they're really doing their job. In other words, they have no choice but to do their job. In other words, they were presented with evidence, they were presented with information, and they're acting on it.
Yeah. No, I agree. And you know, I think that because it's such a large parcel, they're taking it seriously in requiring the archaeological survey. So that's kind of what my thought had been about a report was, you know, not, you know, basically saying this is some preliminary data, but it speaks to the need for more comprehensive surveys and for an assessment of traditional cultural properties. And I think that's important because right now everything looks great, but what if that all falls apart somehow? And they don't follow through. I guess I feel like we want to get everybody on board with the idea that it still needs to happen, regardless of what happens. You know, like if they said, for example, well, we have to hire an archaeological team, we're not going to do the traditional cultural properties assessment.
Right.
I don't think they're going to do that, but let's say they did do that. That's why I think it's important for us to, you know, still go forward with saying we think that's what should happen.
Yep.
Sounds wise.
Yep.
Yeah. So what I would say in the report is that the data was gathered from an anonymous local researchers that were doing preliminary reconnaissance over a period of years, which is true. This data came from multiple sources. And the goal was to collect the data and present it to the tribes and to the Historical Commission, because this was the data that was shared with Bettina Washington and also with the Nipmuc. The Nipmuc leadership. So I will work. Do we have a motion for me to do that?
I move that Miriam write up a draft response to AMP.
I'll second that.
Should we take a roll call here, or?
Okay.
Henry Geddes, aye. Mary Lou Conca. Okay, that was an aye, a symbolic aye. Greg Carlton.
Aye.
Miriam Defont.
Aye, and Karen's here.
Karen Zronka.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, great. So let me show you the draft email, if I can possibly pull it up in a way that you guys can see. Hang on, I had it open, but maybe I can't do it. Let me just try to do it and see if I can find it to you.
It should work as long as it's open and it's in the little box.
Yep. Okay. All right. Let me enlarge it so I can read it. And go to screen share and share screen, desktop, share. So I'm just going to read it because Karen's doesn't have access to, but I've got everybody's face in the way. Okay, so dear Andrew, thank you for sending the Historical Commission copies of the project notifications. I'm writing to confirm that the Shutesbury Historical Commission received copies of the AMP project notifications on June 18th, 2021. We understand that written project notification is required by the town zoning bylaws. The commission plans to review these documents in the coming days. We plan to provide AMP and the planning board with a written response within 35 days or by July 23rd, as stipulated by the bylaws.
Solar bylaws.
Well, I was just saying bylaws.
Anyway.
Yeah. We understand that the Mass Historical Commission is requiring an archaeological survey and that AMP is also planning a traditional cultural property survey with the TIPO of the Wampanoag tribe of Gayhedequina. It will be helpful for the commission to be kept informed of any further developments regarding these investigations. Upon receiving final reports from your researchers, the Historical Commission may have further comments. We look forward to an opportunity to conduct site visits once your investigations are concluded. As you know, MHC alerted AMP about the role of the US EPA in Section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act process. We are aware that some of the proposed sites involve work in or near buffer zones that fall under the US Army Corps of Engineers jurisdiction. The US ACE also requires Section 106 consultation for its undertakings. As such, we believe AMP projects are not eligible for the US ACE self-verification process. I'm not going to get into explaining what that means. I think that they can do it.
Yep.
They can figure that out themselves. We don't need to hold their hands. We have alerted the US AC of the same, but we recommend that your team also communicate with them best. And
what is that an acronym for?
US Army Corps of Engineers.
Okay. Thank you.
I can put this in.
Yeah, you might want to. Yeah.
USACE. So, you know, they need to reach out. This was all explained in those reports that we wrote, but basically there's a shortcut self-verification where somebody just fills out a form saying, yeah, we're good, there's no historical properties, or there's a long form where they have to document that they consulted with TIPOs and did the whole Section 106 process. So what we're basically saying is they have to do the whole Section 106 process.
That looks good.
And I guess I could add, can you update us on the time frames for your continued evaluations?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
So does that look good?
Just maybe, I don't know, this is just minor, but you just say, please update us on the time frame of your. It makes it a little more.
Yep.
Yes. I think we could say in here that, well, I think it's implicit that we would do site visits once they've surveyed things. We're not going to go out there until they have something to show us. Does that make sense?
Yes, you did say. Essentially, you said we wouldn't do site visits until their report. Until their report.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to stop the screen share then. And we can go back to seeing everybody's beautiful faces. So, so that was that. The other question I had is that if AMP is going to have to hire an archaeologist and do that whole they did with the Wheelock Tract, the planning board is going to need to get its own third-party reviewer, and that's a whole interesting question of who they would get.
Should we be a part of that, making that recommendation?
If we have recommendations that are good.
Yep. Well, this we'd have to start to determine no.
I have reached out, and I guess I don't want to say who I've reached out to right now, but I've reached out to some contacts about some archaeologists who are
You have experience in CSLs?
Well, I don't know if any of them are experienced, who are respectful
That's good. I like that.
about CSLs.
Okay.
And I'll see if I get any names, but I think we all could do that.
Yeah, I will definitely. I've got some archaeological contacts, so.
It would probably need to be somebody local or who's capable of being local.
Yeah.
And who knows New England.
Yep.
Yep. I don't know who they would use, who AMP would use. I was thinking maybe they would end up using SWICA because they're local. But I don't know, that would be Chris Danton. I don't know if he could do this because he's in a butter.
There are other folks on that gig.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In fact, there's at least another archaeologist local.
Do you know who that is?
I don't remember the name. It's a woman. She did the one for the cell tower.
Oh. Okay. I mean, it may be that the planning board would want to go back to using Eric Johnson because they used him before.
Well, yep.
So I don't know, but I think that, you know, if we have suggestions, it would be good to
Yep.
send them out.
Yeah.
Any other comments about that?
When do you need suggestions by?
Yep.
I don't know.
Sooner the better.
I guess. Well, you know, the planning board isn't going to make any decisions until there's a special permit application. I don't think there's going to be a special permit application submitted anytime soon. It sounds like there's a whole bunch of things that have to get done before they would be ready to submit them. So I don't know that there's intense urgency, but in the next couple of months, I would think it'd be good. I don't know if other people have a different feeling about it, but
yeah, with Henry said as soon as possible, and I guess that's not very precise, but it's what is needed.
Yeah, I don't know if he does this kind of work or if he would, but there is there's an archaeologist in Rhode Island who was very involved with the Turner's Falls project. He's the former keeper of the National Register, and he's now the SHPO, the state archaeologist for Rhode Island, and he is very respectful about ceremonial stone landscapes and very supportive of preservation efforts. And his name is Paul Robinson or Robeson, I can't remember. That Paul Robeson is a singer, right? It's not Paul Robeson. It's Paul Robinson, I think. Anyway, I don't know. He might be. The person I talked to knows him and was going to reach out and see if he has recommendations. He probably wouldn't be able to because of his role, his official role, but he might have recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Robinson has done a lot of work with Doug Harris. Okay.
All right.
That's all I got. Do we want to do an update about the Southbrook Conservation Area?
Sure.
People who went on it?
I was on it. Mary Lou was on it.
As was I.
And Greg.
Well, what you guys report on it?
We were all there. It was a party, and so was Leslie.
Oh my God, everybody was there. Okay.
My takeaway, if I may start, I just remember, of course, we saw a lot of stuff there. there's, potential potential sites. And
Was Janice there?
yes, and it's a pity she's not here tonight.
Yeah.
I overheard her mentioning that there should be, Leslie might be able to intervene here. I was not directly privy to the cover. I just overheard her say something to the effect of, we should take a moment to really reassess the situation there, both from an environmental impact, but also from a historical impact perspective. Am I right about that, Leslie?
I think that would be correct. I know that for one thing, my concern was that we don't even know the exact boundaries and would need a survey, a professional survey of the property before the town allows things to happen on the property. You need to know exactly where the property is. Is that what you're referring to?
In part, I just remember that there was certain urgency in maybe I'm reading it in there, in Janice's voice that, this really should be done. It should be a priority, an assessment, and that nothing should happen yet until it's done.
Well, the issue, and this is why I kind of had brought this to the commission in the first place, is because there is a group that wants to put mountain biking trails.
Precisely.
And if we don't get this clarified this summer or fall, they're going to apply for CPA funds. And I think that we need to know whether we feel okay about it or not. Liam Cregan, who is the former chair of the Conservation Commission, I'm now the chair, lucky me. Liam went out and mapped where the flagging is in the field. Did you guys see the flagging for the mountain bike?
Yes, we did.
Oh, you did? Okay. What did that look like?
What it looked like, ones we saw were on a broad trail. They were not in the woods.
Are you sure that it was the right flagging? Because my understanding was up on a
Sure
ridge.
I think we did draw an assumption about that. And in fact, one of the things we need from the applicant is maybe a mapping of the trails they want to use.
Well, that's what I'm saying is they have it. I'm getting it tomorrow at the Conservation Commission meeting.
And so
I will share that when I get it. I'll email it to you guys. My understanding was that the flagging was not on any trails. It was off trail.
No, the flagging we saw was definitely on a trail.
Yes, that isn't it. So I'll share the mapping when I get it. Liam's supposed to be updating it and sending it to me tomorrow because he's leaving the commission after this week.
Well, we certainly saw many stone structures.
You did?
Yes, both of colonial and probable Native American structures.
I had offered originally, if there's people who didn't make it, that I could make a second trip out there.
Mm-hmm. I'd go again.
Yeah, I'd like to at some point. I'm probably not soon, but
yes, where the trails are going and how reliably they can keep people on those trails is the issue. We saw evidence of two-wheel and four-wheel impact on the environment, although I think they were both on trails. They weren't just out in the woods. But it was, the evidence was very clear. A lot of mud with wheel marks in it.
Yeah.
So if they can stay on defined paths, that's one thing.
I'd really like to see this parcel be a refuge area, like true, not to have it somehow have the town be committed to preserving it.
What was
rather than making it a multi-use recreational site. I'm not saying that we can't have hiking trails, but,
what was the stated reason for purchasing the land then?
Leslie knows.
I think that it changed as time went by. The town had the right of first refusal because it had been a chapter land, forest chapter land by the previous owner. And it was going to be used as the Morse Hill people wanted to use it, and subsequently they were offered the piece across the road. At that point, I know in my mind, I was thinking building lots on both Wendell and Locks Pond Road would just use up the whole area and be quite an impact water quality to the lake, Wyola.
Mm-hmm.
Janice clarified I think it was at the walk, that she wrote a self-help grant to help fund the purchase. And I think that she implied that there might be a promise to the Porcupine Snowmobile Club that their trails that pre-existed the purchase be left available. I respect Miriam's idea, and maybe that can be in part of it, but I was disappointed to hear that to gain the support of the Porcupine Snowmobile Club, something, and I don't think Janice was even clear what was written into the self-help grant about that.
Would we be held to that for any reason by the Porcupine guys? Are we legally held to that that proviso?
The way Janice has always explained it to me is, how can you stop people?
Well, and also it's not just the snowmobiles, it's the four-wheelers now during the summer.
Exactly. So Miriam's approach seems pretty helpful.
Does that document still exist?
What is my approach? My approach is what? To say don't do it?
No, prefers to see the area used for protection, water protection, wildlife protection.
And that was the reason it was purchased, essentially.
Well, also, I'm just wondering, could this, this has been my thought for a while, is yet that it's a conservation area that for wildlife, and but perhaps also for protection of stone groupings.
Exactly. And could water protection be part of that? There is a vernal pool in there.
Probably a number of them.
And the Conservation Commission is in the process of certifying it.
And also, don't forget, there is the South Brook itself runs through it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want some colonial history, it's called Noyes. Part of it is called Noyes Road because of a gentleman who hung himself out there.
Yeah, reputedly.
Noyes, how do you spell that?
Noyes. I don't know that that's significant, but
okay,
in history, but.
Is there any way to get a copy of that original submission, Janice's submission, which mentions the existing trails at the
wouldn't there be files in the Concom? Because it was the Concom has authority over it.
And there might be one in the vault that the town clerk has access to.
You don't think it would be in the Concom records in their folder?
I would hope so. That would be the easiest place. Linda Scott might be able to tell you that.
Okay. I could certainly go for a dive into the files and see, but I think they're a mess. This is another filing problem. The Conservation Commission files are really a problem because they're organized. I think they're organized by landowner rather than by property. They have to be reorganized. It's a big project that we don't have time for.
Well, we can tell you, assessors can tell you who owned that property. Man Lumber.
That's who owned it?
Yeah, for many years prior to the town purchasing it. I forget the first initial, the last name was Mann, M-A-N-N.
Okay,
and
interesting.
That's easy enough to look up.
Yeah.
I would imagine, the deed, unless the deed had some limitations, and I can't imagine that those would be written into the title, that the promises to the snowmobilers would not be written in stone. But those are not, my understanding is that the snowmobilers are not as high impact as some other kinds of uses.
But once snowmobiles use them, then all-terrain vehicles use them. I think self-help grants, by virtue of getting the money from the state, loosens up some things. I don't know. Janice is the authority.
Okay. What is a self-help grant? What does that mean?
It's a grant from the state. The example I'm more familiar with is back in the 60s, the town wanted to get the water rights for Lake Wyola that were at that time held by the sawmill people down in Montague, and they needed funds to purchase from the sawmill people the rights to the dam. And I know in that self-help grant, they put in that what's now used as the boat landing, but it used to be the town beach, and both the landing and the beach had to be open to everyone in the state, not just local people, by virtue of getting funds from the self-help grant.
Interesting.
Which doesn't say, I don't know if it limits what you can limit. Mm-hmm. Janice would be much more familiar with it than I am.
Okay. All right. Well, this is something we can explore more. I think that, the Concom has kind of the reins for what happens, because they can't, I don't think that the CPC would support the mountain biking project unless the Conservation Commission endorses it.
But it wouldn't hurt to also have Historical Commission input if they're concerned, because yes, 2 reasons are more effective than 1.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. And okay. All right. Well, I think we're kind of at a stage where I think maybe we should maybe in the next meeting in July, we should talk about organizing maybe really thinking about how we can do the surveying in the fall. And, who can we line up to help train people, and, how can we recruit people to do it with us? Because it's going to take some manpower. I don't know how many people it would require. I don't know if it's necessary for us to map every single thing on the property, or whether, maybe getting a good sample of locatable things would be enough for us to argue for protecting things, especially if we take a look at the maps that are of the trails that are being proposed. Mm-hmm. And look at what might be in their vicinity.
Yes, overlay them. Right.
We could also include any observations that we might offer as folks who actually walk the property.
Did you guys take pictures?
I didn't. Somebody else did, though. I'm pretty sure there were, you know,
There are many photos available.
yeah, Mary Lou was taking photos.
Did you guys take geolocated pictures?
I think that's automatic, really, if you're using a phone.
What? Is that automatic? I don't know.
Yes, I'm sure it is.
One of the things that I had promised to do and I haven't done because it's really hard to do is to look into getting ArcGIS Esri account, because I know that we had talked about it and Don Wakaluk for the town tree warden had talked about it and the Conservation Commission was interested. And I can't seem to reach a live person at Esri to talk about this, but I have made some phone calls again. Would anybody else like to volunteer for that job?
Oh, I could make a phone call, but I wouldn't really know what to ask.
Okay.
Well, Miriam, I had made contact with some people. They were trying to sell me on the software.
You at Esri?
Yeah, there's no special status. You know, everybody just pays you either pay as an individual, or you pay a kind of extended,
like a company or
you know, corporate, whatever it is, the category. They have several categories.
There's no municipal account?
No.
That is not what I heard.
Well, again, we could reconfirm that with you, for you. I had a contact. Let me see if I can revisit that. I've lost track.
If we got an account that was going to be shared by multiple committees, then you're talking about a number of users sharing an account.
Yeah.
And it would probably have to be on like a dedicated computer in town hall. Like the Concom desktop computer would probably be the place. I mean, I was looking into, just for my own grins and giggles, getting my own individual account. I've got to look at what computers I have because it's not available for Macs. I do have a desktop computer that probably doesn't have the capacity because it takes up a lot of memory.
Yes, I've got lots of memory on my laptop.
I'm sure you do. You probably have a PC, right?
No, a Mac.
You're a Mac. Yeah, it won't. It's not available for Mac users.
Well, that's all right. I can run PC software on the Mac.
Oh, you've got it. Your hard drive is segregated.
No, but I can run software that can run PC software.
Oh.
And I have quite a bit of storage space available.
Well, if you want to get your own account, it's $100 a year.
How many?
$100 a year for a non-commercial account if you're not doing business with it.
Yeah, it seemed to me that was the best deal, actually.
Yeah.
Because once you get more people involved, they're really crank it up.
Well, I will look into this again. I mean, I just started looking at it again today. I've just been very busy. Maybe I can do it with my computer upstairs. My husband has a better computer.
Yeah, but I can definitely run the software. So, and I'm looking at the various user types.
I thought there was an option for getting a purely online format where you would just use Esri Online, but it looks like Esri Online, the account, you still have to download some sort of proprietary software.
Yeah, there is an online, refer to these system requirements.
And it tells you need a PC.
It'd be nice if it was in a browser, that would be great.
Right, it was all cloud-based, but...
Actually, supported browsers are Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Firefox, Safari, which is I've got. For the best performance, use the latest browser. The website leverages local storage capacities of the browser, not a problem.
Where are you seeing, but where I found Esri online, it was for the individual account, Greg, where it was a desktop application.
Well, I went to frequently asked questions, and one of the frequently asked questions is what are the system requirements, and it says please refer to these two system requirements. One is ArcGIS Pro and the other one is online. Pro might be the one that requires a PC.
Yes, that's right.
Supported operating systems are all Windows, and there's ArcGIS Online. I don't know if that has the same capability as the machine.
I don't think we need the fancy version, Greg.
Well, I will just.
Is there a separate account or a license just for the online version, Greg? That's what I couldn't find.
Some of the ArcGIS apps have their own requirements. See each app's document for details.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't we not spend any more time doing this in the meeting?
And confirm with you, Miriam.
Yeah, maybe if you want to do some looking at it, I'll try to take some looking. I'm not going to be able to do it anytime soon, but next week or two.
And so you've tried to contact these people by phone, and they just
by email, by phone. There's this guy Trevor that I keep missing, and
okay, well,
sales guy.
Call him and
I'll send you an email. I'll send you my email.
Okay, I'll call
Trevor.
They will come after you, Greg, because they want to sell.
Right.
So they will come after you.
And what do I tell them, or what do I not tell them in terms of?
Well, the questions that I have. Thank you for signing up for an ArcGIS public account. What did I do? I don't know what I did. So the questions I have are, one, is there a municipal rate if we wanted to get a desktop application or an online application to be shared by multiple committees? Because there's an interest from us, from the Concom, and also Don Wacklock, the tree warden, was interested. So if that's a question. Then the second question is there a purely cloud-based online license where a Mac user could just use the program and store all the data online?
Well, it's not an issue of the Mac user because Macs can run PC software, but
right.
The question might be, does the online software, is it as powerful, feature rich as the Windows software?
Yeah, not everybody has the capacity with a Mac that you have, Greg.
No, it's true.
So yes. I think that if we're going to ask the question, can a Mac user use it, it would be like a regular Apple's operating system person, not a person who's got a split operating system. I had the boot camp. Are you doing the boot camp thing?
No, it's called Parallels. They don't do boot camp anymore, and it runs perfectly. It's like horrifying as it is to see a PC screen on my Mac. It runs perfectly.
I remember one time I got boot camp on a laptop, and my son said, "You broke your Mac." He said, "You had a perfectly beautiful laptop and you destroyed it."
It looks like a PC, right?
Why would you do that? Okay.
All right, you might want to check in with the Board of Health, Catherine Hilton. I know years ago when Bill Elliott was around, when ArcView was first becoming available for municipal use, I believe, and I was the clerk at the time, so I don't know specifics, but I believe Board of Health and assessors were involved in using it for municipal purposes. So Catherine Hilton may be able to fill you in. Okay. And maybe their computer has the capacity.
So I talked with the assessor, with Kevin.
Yeah.
He does have ArcGIS. It's paid for by some statewide assessors, blah, blah, blah. And no, we can't use it.
But check in with Catherine about,
okay.
Kevin's only been here a couple of years, and I'm referring to 10 years ago, at least.
Okay.
And as I say, the Board of Health may very well have it on their computer.
Okay, I'll ask. Anyway, it is, we'll see. Okay.
I mean, all those are good questions. I just wanted to say that the individual account, of course, would not be able to share it, but it is perfectly adequate, I think, for the kind of work that we're doing. At least that was the impression I got from somebody who has an account, Lise McLaughlin, who has an account. So.
Yep. Yes. So.
Maybe that, for instance, if one of us has a license, that
Yeah.
we collect the data and just use that one license and
Yeah.
provide that to the commission as a report.
Yeah. I mean, I really want to get it for myself just because I'm on the Concom too, and we have some stuff, but I have to see again about my computer. I don't think I can go buy a new computer right now just for that. We're in the middle of doing an addition on our house, so no new computers this year. Anyway, okay. I don't have anything else. Does anybody else have other stuff?
No.
There's no public comment here to be had, so nobody came.
All right. So we have our next meeting is, let me look at the calendar. It is on July 21st.
Okay.
But I think it's July 21st, but we really are going to need to review a report before July 23rd. So I wonder if we could find an earlier date and maybe we can actually get a Zoom account. Let me look at the calendar just to see when our next meeting is. If it's so July, yeah, we're supposed to meet the 28th. So that's going to be too late.
Mid-July?
Yep, do that.
Or before, or even before that too.
What is today? Could we meet maybe the 7th?
The 7th. That's a. I know I've got something on the calendar. So. No, I've got actually I'm going to a party with archaeologists that evening. Okay. I'm pretty sure. Let's see.
It's really hard to change dates and get a Zoom spot in the evenings. If we wanted to meet earlier, I think we would have more success if people were available for a daytime meeting.
I am.
Let me just confirm that here.
The town hall opens up next week, Miriam. I don't know about meetings in person.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it seems like they're not.
Yeah, on the 7th, I'm basically busy after 5. 5 o'clock on, I'm busy.
Okay.
So a daytime meeting is good for me.
And me.
Could meet earlier in the day.
What does that look like on the Wednesday before, like a 3 o'clock meeting?
Yep. We'll try it.
Maybe we can, and I'll have a draft sent out to you guys. I mean, really we can keep the 28th meeting as planned. Oh, we can't. I'm going to be out of town on the 20th. Well, you guys can meet without me. I'm not going to be here on the 28th. I'm out of town, but
should we discuss that on the 7th then?
yes, we can do that. All right. So 3 p.m. on the 7th. I'll email you guys if that does not work.
Done.
Hopefully we will be, if I post it right now, maybe we'll be able to keep it.
I see Mary Lou has emailed us 2 stones from Southern Structures from Southbrook.
Is Mary Lou okay with 3 o'clock on the 7th?
Yes, that works.
All right, I will let you know if I can't get that spot. And if we do it in person, I'd be, I don't know, do it outside.
Yeah, I'd be okay if we're all vaccinated.
I'm vaccinated.
I think I'm getting my second shot on, I believe it's the 6th.
Oh,
So it won't, yeah.
You won't have the 2 weeks then.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We won't go to any parties with you, Henry.
Well, I'll wear my mask. I can always wear the mask, you know.
That's true. And if we do it out, if we can do it outside,
Do it outside.
Yeah.
if it's not raining.
Outside, I don't care about it. Okay. All right. Should we adjourn?
Yeah. I move to adjourn. Who seconds?
I'll second it.
Karen.
All in agreement.
Aye.
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 Aye, aye.
Thank you,
Aye,
everybody.
aye.
Thank you, everybody.
All right,
Okay.
Great. Bye all.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Very good. Good night.
Good night,
Good night.
Karen. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye, Karen.
We're all gone. All right.